Jesus and the disciples went to Capernaum. I was really struggling with scripture. I wanted so badly to be able to tie in the events that had happened at the Capitol with Jesus preaching in the synagogue and demons being released. But I just couldn't make it happen. The deeper I tried to get into that, the more I was in the weeds. And so finally, I just had to turn into my 12-step tools and return to simplicity, try to keep it simple. And I asked myself, what are you drawn to in the scripture? And what came was Capernaum. Capernaum, the little lakeside fishing village on the Sea of Galilee. Capernaum, the place that Jesus kind of fled to, or was his second home after he got kicked out of his hometown of Nazareth, when his neighbors and friends just couldn't digest this emerging role of Jesus. When I was in college, I had a college chaplain, and as one of the activities that he did with our Canterbury group, he led us on a guided meditation when I was a freshman at UVA. In the meditation, we were to encounter Jesus, and there was a beach, had rocks, there was a wide sky with high hilly mountains and fresh air with a little bit of a fishy smell. And we would go out in a boat with Jesus. We were each to do that. And for years, this was a place that I came back to in my prayer time. I would walk down to the beach that was both sandy and rocky. Jesus would be waiting for me there with the boat, and we would go out together. It was a small wooden rowboat, and he would row, and I would sit at the back of the boat. And I would share my troubles. I would also share my celebrations, and he would just say gentle things like, tell me more. Oh, that's really hard. I thought so. I thought you might need to talk about that. Sometimes I would just talk and he would row and row. Sometimes he would encourage me to just lean back and to let my hands drag in the water and let all of my worries just flow out of my fingers into the water. Sometimes he would stop the boat when we were out in the middle of the water, and he would encourage me to jump out and go for a swim, just immerse myself in water. Well, fast forward, and a couple of years ago, my husband gave me a bucket list present, and that was a trip to the Holy Land. And part of our excursion itinerary was to visit the Sea of Galilee. And one of our pull-off places was a little beach not too far from Capernaum. I couldn't wait to get out of the bus and to kind of make my way down the little gentle sloping hill to the water's edge and see the sand and the rocks and the wide open sky and the high hill mountains around. It was such fresh air with a little bit of fishy smell. As I began to take all of that in, it began to occur to me, this was the place I had been coming. This little place right down from Capernaum was a place I had been going in my meditations with Jesus for almost 30 years. Jesus came to Capernaum when he had gotten in the weeds in Nazareth. I wonder, where is your Capernaum? Where do you go when you are in the weeds? And how do you know that you're in the weeds? Jesus and the disciples went to Capernaum.